Sorry, I'd like to bring the March County Government meeting to order, please. First one up is the historian, Bill.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the clerk of the board scheduling me. My little friend and I have to be Cub Scouts in a while, so. I
was gonna say, you're not in uniform.
don't want me.
We took it away from him.
Yeah, believe me, I wish we weren't going. As I said to Kelly, you don't know what it's like to have 8 Cub Scouts running around. I don't care how many parents.
I did that for a year, so
I'm done. It's too many. Anyhow, back to business here. We have several matters here that require resolution. The first is to fill up one part-time clerk typist position. We have one.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
2, we have a resolution request to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the State of New York Education Department. The State of New York is going to provide the County of Columbia with a $15,000 grant.
Oh, yeah.
All in favor?
Do we,
Aye.
hey Bill, do we know for sure it's 15? Because Jim said we didn't, it was a percentage or something.
When I called up and talked to the guy, the historian said, Bill, you're going to get 15.
If it's more, we'll still do it.
We'll still approve it.
Well, yeah, but we just didn't know the
You want
amount.
to say
Well,
two or?
I'm supposed to, but I think it might be Jim because somebody got it. It's one or the other. All we have to do is administer and tell them that we have complied. And what we have to do is for programs for the 250th. And quite frankly, we had the better part of 1,000 people participating in programs during the first full week of the month of January. And we've exceeded everybody's expectation just in the month of January.
So did you write the first and second?
Do we have a first and a second?
Okay, all in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Flavor.
Flavor. Yeah, favor. No, carried.
Okay, while I've got the bully pulpit for 1 minute, we had a great Knox week. I want to thank the chairman of the board of supervisors, Supervisor Knott, Supervisor Ooms. It was wonderful. And as I said, the better part of 1,000 people came to a week-long series of events. Hillsdale was just, state line was just amazing. Supervisor Borchek had a great thing. We had a great thing in Kinderhook Library, Village of Kinderhook, Hillsdale Fire Department, Columbia County Historical Society. Everybody got together and it worked really well. So it was wonderful to see that. Next up is Flag Day. I'm asking you all to please, if you haven't gotten in, the town of Clover is practically dominating the Flag Day parade already. And
They are the largest town.
they have multiple.
No, what? Oh.
Oh, yeah, but they
In
have
landmass, I think.
multiple floats. They have all kinds of activities planned. So if you haven't signed up yet, please, you have until May, but let's not wait to the end. And of course, this is our 250th anniversary of court, but the town of Canaan will be celebrating the Canaan Day on June the 20th, correctly? And
And we have the Capital Land Singers for that, but we
Yes.
have the Fife and Drum Corps for your flag.
Flag Day, thanks to you, and you guys are it. So everybody, we have all kinds of communities lining up for this. So it's wonderful. And we're trying to have something at the Chatham Fair as well. And the Columbia County Historical Society is doing an exhibition of lectures. It's a lot of activity. So, anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
Henry and I are leaving. Have
All
fun.
right, have a good time.
That's right. You ready, Mr.? No,
No.
now you watch your step.
Now he's not ready.
Now it's not ready.
Tourism up next.
Couldn't get it there, now it's. Come on. Enough. This is all the phone you need. Let's go. Say goodbye.
Bye, Henry.
Yeah.
See you again soon, Henry.
Don't forget your father.
I'm ready. Are you?
Yep.
Okay, what we got? Brochure, distribution request again. This one is with Berkshire Brochure Display. Cost is $48.60 and it's for a 6-month contract, May 1st through October 31st. For Berkshire County, Columbia County, and Northwest Connecticut.
Is it still that husband and wife team that do the distribution?
Ryan, their son, has
Taken over, yeah.
now kind of
Nice.
worked his way in.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll make a motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Have a great night.
Adam, while you're here, Bill talked about the 250th, but I know that you've done a special page on your tourism page with all the events too. I just thought you would share that.
Yes. So on our website, we have allocated what used to be our major festivals page. And we've reworded it to be all about the 250 lecture series. And we'll keep it up as long as they're going through. Which will be probably the fair, because I was just looking at the travel bag proof and I see where the fair is having some 250 anniversary celebrations as part of their fair this year.
But there's lots of little talks and stuff that Adam's been asking for. So
Yeah, and we've started a blog series. Scott, who does our social media, released the first one, which was very popular. And there will be 2 more. We also have church's anniversary, 200th anniversary for their church. And we'll be releasing a blog, I think it's May, if I remember correctly, in time for his main birthday celebration, which will be an open house. For anyone who wants to attend, they're going to have a celebration at Alana for that. And so we're expecting quite a few people for that.
You know what month that is?
That's in May.
May.
So the blog will probably be end of April, first part of May. I'll have to look at our schedule. So it's been busy. Lots of anniversaries, lots of birthdays.
Yeah,
You know.
no, thank you. Make sure everybody-
Oh, and wow. Rove. We have finally gotten access to our Rove account, which gives us, it'll be giving us Visa data and it'll give us mobile data for visitation to the county. I'm not going to board the committee by coming, but I will send out to Kippy kind of like a report, probably quarterly, once we get into it and start going through the information, and then you can share it to all the committee members. Okay?
Thank you. It's good.
Make sure I'm CC'd on that, please.
Yeah.
You might forget to forward it to Kelly.
Like I get forgotten sometimes.
Yeah, that's all right.
Never.
As long as Kelly CC'd, we're good,
It's a rowdy group today, Mark.
Yeah. Spring is here.
Well, I just left the rowdy group. I just got back from my winter conference, so literally just pulled in
Nice.
in time for the meeting. So the first order of business I have is a resolution requesting authorization to enter into an agreement with the town of Gallatin for data verification and parcel valuation assistance. They are seeking a 2029 town-wide reassessment project. They are being offered to pay for it over the next 4 years as what has been customary. It's a standard contract. However, it is my understanding that they agreed to pay for the entire project up front. So I did speak to the controller about that, and we're going to be allocating that over the next 4 budget cycles as pre-received revenue. I'll move it.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
That's the only resolution I have this afternoon. I'm happy to share that I have filled the 2 positions that have been open in my office for some time. The Cynthia Esposito was hired as our tax research technician. She comes from a background of title researching. So she starts on Monday. And then I did hear after I made out that Art Frick, he's currently with Mahar Real Estate. He accepted the data collector position, and he will be starting on April 6th.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I had 15 applicants total. There was a wide array of experience, and they were the 2 that were the most qualified. And it was interesting because Art actually did not see the data collector position. He applied for the research tech position, but ended up liking the data ultimately. And just a few updates from my conference. There's been a lot of discussion about the new veterans exemption that has been signed into law. There is still a lot of uncertainty and unclarity about that. There is a new chapter amendment that has been signed that changed it from being discretionary to mandatory, and it changed it from being until it does, so it doesn't go into effect until October 1st. So therefore is not eligible for this coming assessment roll. If it will only go into effect for 2027's assessment roll. And we are also unsure of what the exact qualifications are going to be. It is anticipated there's going to be another chapter amendment to adjust the qualifications, because the way it's currently written, there's hardly anybody that's eligible. I did not hear back from the Veterans Affairs Office yet, but I did reach out to them to see if I sent them what the current criteria is, to see if they felt that anybody would fit the bill. So I haven't heard back on that yet, but I'll keep everybody posted. The other thing is,
Talking to our assessors, nobody in our couple towns was going to qualify.
right, most counties have nobody that would be eligible under the current qualifications, but they are anticipated. The way it's currently written is it's this and this and this and this, and they believe it's going to become ORs, but we're not urgent, but it hasn't been changed yet, so we're waiting to see.
So do you have any way, I know this is a very simple question, but it might have a more complex answer. Do you know who they were targeting when they wrote the bill?
I don't know that. And it is very clear that there is a lack of, the way the law was written and what the intent of the law was doesn't seem to align. And the way that public perceives it also doesn't align at all. So the other one that is still kind of up in the air is they did apparently signed this into law back in June. However, the state didn't really get anything out until January, but so it was too short a notice to move on it for us. But they changed the senior exemption to be 50% up to 65%. So adding 2 more levels of 55 and 60. I'm sorry, 55, 60, and 65. So 3 more levels. So that is
something we have to opt into.
That's a local option.
Okay. Yeah.
And the RPS system that we use currently isn't even compatible with handling that sliding scale.
So
all those exemptions have to be, if we were to move into that, they would all have to be calculated manually. It is our anticipation that probably by next year that they will have something that will handle it, but as of right now, they don't. So I'm going to be working with the assessors to come up with what an impact to our county looks like if we do that, and we also discussed potentially changing our income limits and what that would look like. So in the next couple months, I'll be working with them to present that to the committee here so we can make some educated decisions moving forward. And the rollout of, final thing I have from the conference is the rollout of RPS online is not going as quickly as what they are anticipating. They only have they have 3 counties so far that are done, and everybody has signed an NDA, so we have no clue of the actual status of how they're making out.
Okay.
So we have no anticipations of moving to that anytime soon.
Okay.
And that would be something that we would decide on a countywide basis,
Right. Yeah.
with all the assessors rather than trying to do it individually. Yeah. That's all I have.
Very good.
Any questions?
No questions today?
Very informative.
Man. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Okay, next up is planning.
The first resolution is to appoint a member to the Climate Smart Community Task Force. It's Lisa Bouchard, representing town of Austerlitz.
I'll move it.
Second. All in favor?
And the second one is authorization for the task force to co-host the 2026 Earth Day film screening. It will be at the Crandall in Chatham, in the village of Chatham, in coordination with CLC, and CLC is responsible for the rental and the certificate of insurance. There will be tabling at the event and a panel question and answer series involving environment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote.
Aye.
Okay, and the last is just an item that, it's the EMC prepared, a newsletter. And it highlights, some activities that they, were participated in and covered during, last year. And they moved into, sort of reporting the local activities of the Climate Smart Task Force. And this newsletter, identifies and highlights some areas that their members have represented, because there's a lot of overlap between the membership of the EMC and the Climate Smart Task Force. So this is a very informative piece, and it sort of piggybacks on the report from the Climate Smart Task Force last year, last month that I presented. This includes a lot of photographs of the activities that they were reporting on, and a little synopsis of each of the events. So,
I think it's a great thing, and I would move to accept it or move to whatever you're looking for.
acceptance.
We had just asked them to come before they printed it, I think, so we knew what they were posting, right? Years
Exactly. It
ago,
has
you
to
know,
go
so.
through the county attorney's office to review, and there's a disclaimer on it, and then it's just for you to accept it and as a document of their activities.
I serve on the County Climate Smart Task Force, so I'm familiar with most of this material, and I think most of it's public in another way.
Right.
But this is part. I think that's great to get all this good news out.
Anybody want a second?
Second. In favor? Vote.
I have a question. Sorry.
Finish this.
Now, I've received this information from Joshua Powell. Have you all seen it?
Yes.
And this person, this press is asking for answers regarding this agricultural farmland protection issue that we all voted on. And there's some issues there that I don't really feel like I should answer them, that somebody should answer them from the county so that there's something on record that we have responded to these questions. Unless you consider they need a foil.
Well, there's multiple foils from Mr. Powell. Yeah, but we can only provide documents, as far as answering a foil. And these have all been, vetted through the county attorney's office. So Patrice is
We're
working
working on it.
with the county attorney and answering these.
It's
Well, but it's
a lot
coming,
of information.
I know it's coming directly to us.
Right.
And I don't understand what's, I don't have privilege to that information, so that's why I'm here asking. Cause I don't know what you've all done, so that's.
And to add to Supervisor Mussman's comments, Mr. Powell's now reaching out to individual supervisors by phone for comment. So it would be helpful to have something that says this will be answered by the county attorney or by something to go out as a blanket response if possible.
Is this the issue up in Chatham?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there, the report that we prepared that was presented submitted to Ag and Markets to certify the additions, that's been submitted to Ag and Markets. And the issue in Chatham is more of my understanding is the zoning component.
Right, yeah.
As opposed to the agricultural use. And I think there might be a little confusion with parties as far as what inclusion in ag district encompasses as opposed to how the local laws and zoning laws intercept or don't intercept. To be considered for an agricultural district, it doesn't have anything to do with the zoning. It doesn't change the zoning. That's all at the local level.
Well, I have heard that part of the
Yeah.
equation. I'm just saying this keeps coming.
Yeah.
to me.
And it probably will keep coming.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to answer it or not, so that's.
I
the
would,
question.
we're answering it through as well.
Well, but I didn't know that until today, so that may be help if you would explain, if you're all getting this, I'm assuming you are. You should say like, well, we're gonna take care of this, just to help out my email.
Looks like I'm getting emails for the Stuyvesant Bridge all the time now. So this is the same
That's
thing,
what
but
it was.
again, I hope that the professionals that we have on duty that are working on that to get.
Yeah, but I
staff,
don't
just like
know
we-
exactly. I don't know about the foils. I don't know about this stuff. So I'm just bringing it up, so
Yeah,
trying to
thank you,
understand.
appreciate that. I didn't realize the distribution level of the information.
You can have it.
I'm
sure she has.
I think I probably do have this one. I have a number of them, so.
But I also think, I think the phone calls are new. They started this week,
Oh,
so.
okay, yes, yeah. I was nowhere.
But there was a lot of confusion, I think, from the
They
early
conflated
emails.
the zoning
They're
with
very
I
the-
felt that we were changing the zoning of
They
Chatham.
come to approach me, neighbors around there who I know very well. And I try to explain it to them. So I understand it. My wife doesn't believe it. So, but the Chatham Planning and ZBA have been dealing with this for 5 or 6 years.
Mhm.
So
There's a lot of misinformation. Just as simple as saying that Tim Ooms, Supervisor Ooms and Supervisor Collins weren't at the meeting. And they were, and they excused themselves, which they probably should have, but he reported it totally wrong.
Yeah, I can't sort out. I'm just trying to find out who's answering what, or what am I supposed to do? 'Cause I don't want to have somebody accuse me of not saying something.
Right.
If I'm willing to say something, but I don't have to, I don't know all the details, so.
Well, we're responding to his request, for the information that we have to answer his foils. And it is pretty extensive, so
Okay.
it takes a little bit of time to prepare and gather and copy and collate and. all
I
those
mean,
things.
frankly, we vote on these things, which is like the seeker process. That goes da, 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 okay, we're done, we vote.
Right.
And I don't know whether those documents that he's suggesting weren't there. I don't know whether they were in the package or not. I never saw it.
Well, typically addition of land into an agricultural district, established district is found to be no, significant impact. It's pretty much across the
Nothing
board,
has
all
changed.
counties, it's not just Columbia County that, takes that action. It's pretty sort of a standard recommendation and finding for the secret process for addition to the ag districts. But again, it's
I'm
just.
just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Turning it
appreciate
into
knowing about
something
this, because I didn't
complicated, yeah.
realize that.
Anyway, well, that's not the first one. That's why I'm bringing it up. There's
Thank
been
you.
several coming at me.
Appreciate that. Thank
Well,
you.
the FOIL process takes time and we have 20 days to answer. And then depending on the amount of information they're seeking, sometimes it takes longer for for us. It could be multiple departments answering, we have to get all that data together. So he's basically peppering other people to get information when we're gathering this information
Okay.
for him. So as soon as we have the complete package, we'll be sending it to him, which will hopefully answer his
So I'm gonna
questions.
direct it to you, the
And,
FOIL.
and some of those land use questions are really best answered by Chatham's Town Planning and Zoning Boards. That's not us. We do nothing
Well, we
with that.
voted on something that relates to the complaint. I don't know
No,
what it
not
all
really,
is
but
about.
yeah.
Putting it on the ag district. is-
which the land that was put in they've been bailing hay on that for.
Right.
I can remember.
It is agricultural, land, right? Been there for
That's the premise of being included in ag district. If it's land that's an active agricultural use, and this land is in that, so that's what the recommendation was from the Ag Environment Protection Board, and that was the resolution that was brought before the Board of Supervisors, and that was in.
That's what's approved, but we didn't do anything with zoning, so then we're not gonna review that, so,
And also the secret process that we followed was, one that was in alignment with the type of action.
different purpose, right?
Right, and this is because it was a no impact action. It was a lower level, lower threshold secret review.
And he's asking you basically for us to do a secret review for the Chatham Planning Board, and that's not what we're doing.
Well, I do remember the vote that night. I do remember the recusals, and I don't remember the recusal having a reason. I just heard that they recused themselves, and that's unusual. I think it would have helped if there was some explanation that night.
So Donnell
this particular-
recused himself. Yeah, because, and I did, we had the opportunity to work that land as well, they're right there. And I can't speak about everything, but these people are all claiming Donnell is in on cahoots with it. He passed everything and all that. And I explained it very clearly off the record to somebody that that's all bullshit. Okay? No, and I didn't say that word to him, but I said, I don't know how Chatham's operating, but I can find out for you. But don't say anything about Donnell. He has nothing to do with any of that. He's just a guy that's mailing them there. And
Well, I
they're
don't know about
following
all
rules.
that. I'm just
Yeah.
telling you
No,
what I
they're-
heard
but
that
that's what
night.
They're throwing
But
so
they-
much, that's why he
But they
recused
didn't,
himself.
you just didn't really explain what the recusal was about.
I went right to him when I saw he
I
was gonna
did too.
recuse himself and asked him why, and I was satisfied with his answer.
But you should have said that,
And I didn't need to recuse either, but we were then
no, or
all around
yes.
it.
I mean, it would have helped me understand when all this is coming back.
I think we discussed that in caucus. I indicated that the reason he recused himself was because he was pasturing animals and baling hay on that.
Right.
But that wasn't at the meeting. It's
So
different.
it was not, but it was information that was
And we're
had
the people
before
who
we
drove
had
him
the
over
vote.
there. Okay, we said, hey, there's a land here, got it, we don't want that.
And the big negative on that seems to be the vineyard or the wine
Oh,
business, and
right,
that's yet to
No,
come.
no,
That's,
that's right.
that's
And
before
that's
the
being
zoning
handled
board.
by Jeff.
That's the real issue.
Yeah, and they've been trying for 5 or 6 years to sneak something in up on that hill.
Right. So that's,
Clear, it's very clear now.
Good.
Yeah.
Really, but
Well, when nobody's
There's my-
here, there's no tape recorders, I'll talk more if you want. Okay.
it's fine. It's all good.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Anything else?
I have one more thing.
That's fine, Linda. I like it.
So I did not have a chance to really speak on the chairman's county administrator manager committee that he named. And I find that it's missing some support or input from arts and tourism. So I think it's lacking some other people that would have something to say about how the county runs, what we do. I mean, I just don't think we're represented very well, and I'm, frankly speaking, from the Hudson point of view, I think Hudson contributes quite a bit, and I don't see anything about arts and tourism represented here, which is part of what Hudson does for a field. So it's an observation, and yeah, I complain. How's
Okay.
that?
Noted. Thank you.
Linda, you threw us out last week.
I did bring it up. And I did speak to the mayor today, if you want to hear about that.
Anything else?
Yeah,
Well,
that can be after.
I'm taking Patrice's turn.
No,
I
no.
finished. You said you had another question. I didn't know if it.
No, that
pertained
was
to me.
it.
I didn't want to get up for that. Answer your question.
I can answer this question.
And
Don't you
but I
agree
have
with
no
me?
idea what you're referring to. So I have no
You,
idea.
you didn't appoint that committee.
This is for me.
Go ahead. It's a good thing I'm a Rivendell.
That was to go yet.
just one quick question, the EMC newsletter.
Yes.
So what are the next steps and when will it be published?
Once, now that it's got recognition here and acceptance here, then it will go, the EMC is going to distribute it.
Okay.
Karen, do you have anything else
I
you
was
want
just
to add
gonna
to that?
say, I am a member of the EMC, so we've been throwing this around for years about doing this and how we could best help the supervisors, because we realize that our mission is supposed to help you or us.
Communicate with us,
We
yeah.
communicate, if there's something that you want answers to, or you have questions of, or you want to put out to the public, we are willing to work at that, and maybe the newsletter is the best way to do that too. And, and
Years ago, they used to file a report with it. We haven't seen that in 5 or 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah.
But
This is easier because it's got pictures.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad to
We're
see that.
thinking this might be a way to do it,
Yeah.
if we can do it quarterly, so
Yeah.
that, that it's something that you have, that you know what's going on.
Very good. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Next up is veterans.
How is everybody?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. I'm just gonna hand these, Jim said to hand these over to you for the bus, because our transit ban is done.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Brought them with me and then emailed them and he said, give them to you. So
Okay.
it's now, they're over to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
We can take a quick joyride.
Yeah.
All right, we've got Honor a Vet coming up April 27th. We don't have anybody for March. We do need more veterans to honor. We have June and September covered. We need more veterans to honor,
Are they always deceased?
Yeah.
Okay.
and they have to be a resident of Columbia County. Then we have a luncheon, March 24th
11:30 in the Dwyer Room. The firemen's, or the Columbia County Auxiliary is cooking for that. We have 2 veterans turning 100 years old. Yeah, we're celebrating this Saturday for Louis Brenner at the Hudson Elks, 2:30 to 4:30. It's open to the public. I guess he used to be a Hudson police officer, and then the other one is in April. He's Stephen Ghetto Jr. Senior. That'll be at the Ghent VFW from 1 to 3. I know it's early for this. The veteran stand down is May 2nd, but obviously we want to plan and get whoever wants to be there. This will be my first stand down that I've ever been to. It's from 9 to 1 at the Point in Catskill, and I'm hosting it with Greene County.
I'm sorry, but I don't know what stand down is.
It's, so Gary's done one in Oneonta. They've done them before in Albany. They bring in services for veterans. I should have brought a flyer with me, but, so it'd be like haircuts and services for, service dogs and like a lot of different things. I can bring the flyer next month.
Okay.
If you want, I should have.
Or just send it
Or
over.
send
I'll
it.
send it.
If
That's
you got
true,
it digital.
because our,
And we'll put it in our newsletters.
okay, because our computer and phones were down all day today. I had to call the fire trucks. Yeah, it was a fun day.
You were the one?
Huh?
You called the fire trucks?
Yeah, we had to call, well, the child care council is next to us in the same building, and it was like electrical smell. So just to be safe, we called. They didn't find anything, but Jerry Jennings was there with the he's the electrician with,
Line.
and it was like half voltage for some of the outlets. Ryan went around and marked all the half voltage outlets, so it was like brownout.
Wow.
Yesterday, they were the same way, but I was at the VA for a meeting, so.
It has,
It was a
that
fun
has a
day.
very distinctive smell, that brownout smell.
Yeah.
It's almost like maple syrup on toast or something.
No, it is not that smell that we smell today.
Well, I
Like,
say that true, that.
That was
No, it's burnt.
toast or whatever.
so the firemen were like, oh, we smell our bagels. Are you sure you're not
Yeah,
smelling
right,
your burnt
right.
bagels?
Right.
It's a very distinct smell,
Yeah.
but, the food pantry has been very busy. We do need more clients. And Daniel Wren, who used to come to Honor, but I think he was Hinchy's, worked with Hinchy.
He was their executive.
Yes, he is now the governor's regional rep for the Capital Region. He stopped by our office just to stop in since he was in the area and told us to contact him if we needed help with anything.
Great.
Nice.
And that is it.
Okay, any questions?
Do you do the honor bread that goes through you
Yes, through our office.
for recommendations?
Yes, we have applications at the office. I think we can get them online too, right?
All on that thing on that list.
On the website.
Yeah.
If not, there should be one in it.
And then I'll send Kelly, I'll send you the flyer for the
Yeah,
stand
that'd be
down.
great.
Okay. All right, any questions?
Nope.
All right, these are out of my hands.
Yeah,
All right, have a good afternoon.
Do you need a ride back?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a resolution here from the county attorney who's not here. He's requested at least a new photocopier from Repeat Business Systems for $106.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carry.
How much is it?
156.
156
Oh, wow.
a month. $20 cheaper.
It's a lease.
And the other one is 14 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
that's
that one
any other
goes-
questions for the county attorney who's not here? I guess not. Okay, move on to the
I
next.
did want to ask when the foreclosures are happening. You know, they're not here, so.
And I don't have that information.
Yeah.
Sure you don't. We have the county
We
clerk.
always call them.
We know how to bug them, yeah.
You want to read this or you want me to?
There you go.
All right, authorization to fill one vacant budgeted motor vehicle cashier examiner
Move
position.
it. Second.
All in favor?
That was done on an emergency bill, so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carry. Okay, and last but not least, and need to adjourn. Unless everybody's got any questions.
Hey, yeah. I was gonna say.
I did that. See? No questions? Well, maybe
I'll move to it.
I got in trouble yesterday. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, it's 5:00. We want to call the Public Works meeting to order. Up first, we have a guest, Jess Whalen from Hudson Development Corporation, and I know Jess brought some staff with her, or you can move them up. They're missing a couple of committee members. Some of them, one of them's got car trouble on the way down, but anyway, they wanted to do a presentation, and so we've invited her to come discuss it with us. So, have that.
Hello, everyone. First, I'd like to thank the committee for hearing our proposal today regarding the county-owned parking lot on the 600 block used for the weekly summer farmers market. I'm Jessica Wallen. I'm the executive director of HDC, and with me today are the vice president, Mikadad. I don't know if anyone knows him. Or Emmanuel, and also board member Britt Zuckerman, who is a senior landscape architect, and she created the concept you'll see today. We also have Joe Raff, who brings his years of construction management experience as an advisor to the project. So HDC's interest in the project is enhancing a small piece of Hudson's architecture and infrastructure to support the local agricultural economy and downtown businesses that benefit from the foot traffic to the market. Thank you, Kelly, for putting the visuals up there.
Just tell me when you're ready to.
Appreciate that. I'm going to turn it over to Brett to run us through the proposal.
I'm going to stand up because it's kind of a weird
Sure.
angle to everybody. So this is the existing conditions of the parking lot where we currently are hosting the farmers market. And I want us to start thinking about a functional space as possibly being a little bit more being an extension of streetscape and becoming a civic space. So the existing conditions are when you go to the farmers market and actually spend quality time in the parking lot, it's incredibly hot. So you're getting an urban heat island effect where it's just incredibly warm, it's incredibly sunny, and it's not a particularly enjoyable space to spend 2 to 3 hours in or linger. If we can go to the next slide. So I'd like to propose some improvements to this space. Some perimeter plantings that would act as bio rain gardens that could capture stormwater runoff from the asphalt, some trees that could offer shade and dappled light, and new fencing, new lighting, and possibly spaces where we could have movable benches so that when you do visit the farmers market, you can sit down, and some truck receptacles. If we go to the next slide, you can see that it would accommodate a variety of tents. We have a net parking loss of about 3 spaces. And just from like brief observations of my own personal traffic studies, the parking lot is never at 100% capacity. It's absolutely used, but not 100% capacity. So I think a loss of 3 spaces hopefully wouldn't cause too much functional disarray during the week and when it's not used. And we think we can do a lot of these improvements for, next slide, a budget of around $570,000. And we did this calculating with prevailing wage numbers, looking at a variety of different vendors and consultants. And I have my budget gentleman with me that can back this up if you have specific questions about budgets. And then we'll go to the next slide. For the project partnership rules of how HDC would collaborate with you. I'll pass that back to Jess.
Yeah, so I mean, we're just looking at the main thing is we would be leading the grant funding, grant applications. So there are a number of good funding opportunities for this. We would just need, owners and as well for their support in the grant application process. So we could do any of the coordination or, the planning of the project. And then for the county's responsibility, we of course would need to approve the design and then look at engineering and procurement, management, construction contracts, and just the maintenance of the space. And we could negotiate that and how to fund it in the long term as well.
Yeah, I think there was originally a question on the surface of the parking lot itself. Are you looking to redo the surface for that? I didn't get to study your budget yet. I don't,
We are proposing to rip up existing asphalt and put it on new surface.
pavers like type things.
We didn't propose pavers. We could absolutely do a paver. be very beautiful. It would be a little bit more money. So if that is of interest to the county, I would love to do that.
I thought that's where you were going. I don't know.
We did a monolithic surfacing because we were concerned that there'd be a little bit of pushback from a maintenance perspective.
Right.
Because when you're plowing, sometimes even though it's set on like a solid base and not up,
Right.
it can pop a little. But we are proposing new surfacing.
Okay. A couple of comments. I just got some questions really. So where's the grant coming from? And you're writing the grant, but is the county receiving the grant, or are you receiving the grant and managing the money? Just explain that a little bit.
Yes, so in most cases through the CFA portal, that funding would be, the primary applicant would be the county.
Okay.
So that would still mean we would lead the grant writing process, but you would be the lead applicant. In some cases, the nonprofit can be the primary applicant, and in that case, we would be, we would have to negotiate how we would manage the funding.
Okay. Still undecided to look and pay.
Yeah, it would be coming from a couple different ways, so we probably manage some on our side and some on your side, and but we would lead the grant process.
And do you think the grant is going to cover the entire cost of it, or is there a match that you
I'm
don't
sure
know
there would
which
be
fund?
matches.
Yeah,
Yes, there would be matches, and whether that will
talking
come.
20%, 50%, or
Well, it depends. So Empire State Development is generally 50%. But some of these other grants, the green grants and some of the federal monies are not matching grants. So, and I can give you a list of those too,
Okay.
and their sort of eligibility and requirements. So it varies, but there would be matching requirements for sure, and we would be leading the fundraising for that as well. I suppose you're probably wondering if the county wanted to put in money to the project. I imagine some,
Right.
but not that, it would be primarily covered by grant.
Okay. And I'd ask Supervisor Mussman to stay because I just wanted to know what the coordination between the city and the county was on this, So I asked them to stay so that she could be aware anyway, have you worked with the city on this? The city, I don't know what function the city has in this versus you.
Well,
how are you working with the city is maybe a better question.
Yes, so this would be, we are the nonprofit partner. So we would be working with both the city and the county on the municipal project. We are a private nonprofit, so we can use private and public funding. And we still need to approach the city and talk to them about what their role would be in the whole process. But we need to come to you first to approve it,
right.
And then we can pursue the funding and kind of map out exactly what everyone is doing.
Sure.
Question, right? We own the parking lot, correct?
Yeah.
We get this straight. Will there be a contract drawn up between the city of Hudson or whoever's used this? Because I hate to put a lot of money into something and then something down the road comes up, it changes,
Yeah.
All this
No,
work.
you're right. That is a good question. They've been doing a contract year to year, but I assume they would be looking for an extended contract, I didn't get into any of that yet, but.
Right, just so you're protected if you're gonna spend this kind of money.
If they're gonna make an
We don't
investment.
decide something else 2 years from now, they'll by the way.
And actually, if you go to the last slide, there's some next steps. One of them is a partnership agreement.
Yeah, you talked about maintenance, because there's a lot of trees, a lot of leaves, a lot of tree work. And that would be on who?
The maintenance agreement, we could write a grant to get funding for long-term maintenance, so you could have the option to have a private company maintain it, or you could have the DPW maintain it. We would probably be selecting lower maintenance plantings, trees that are traditionally used in parking lots and streetscapes all across America. Are ones that are good for this type of situation. We pick a ground cover that also is pretty low maintenance. Nothing is no maintenance.
So on that picture, I'm sorry. So I understand at the beginning of the conversation, it was because you're out in the sun and so I don't see, right there it is. And
There's a couple of trees.
right, there's a couple of trees there. And what I see go up one more, is still multiple exposure to multiple spaces. If each one of those colors denotes a space from one of the farmer's market people, correct?
Yeah.
Still, okay.
We can absolutely do more trees. This is concept. So part of the process is actually, there's a whole design review process where there's the stakeholders come and you can, for example, say, sun is a major concern for me. I would like more shade. And then we can show you what it would look like with more shade. Someone else could come and say, I want to make sure we maximize parking. Because one of the best ways to get trees is to take away a parking spot and give a free bed. But if the balance was that we want to maximize parking, that was a bigger priority to you. We balance that and maybe do smaller trees. We can also take away some spots and add more bioswales. If you said stormwater management was a major concern for you. So there's a whole design process that your team would be part of. It's not like we just design this and you have to swallow the concept.
That I know.
This is this is just a preliminary idea to get the conversation started.
Okay, thank you.
And on the subject of losing parking spaces, and I told Jess up front that was one of my concerns is losing those. And I know you say that there's available spaces. There should be because public comes and goes out of there for DMV purposes and other things. But I have heard from staff there just recently about the difficulty in finding parking spaces. And I don't know how much of it is the new apartments in the nearby area or the parking meters changes that are happening in the city of Hudson. But just so that's on the table to keep talking about, I think it could be, I know the city's wrestling with changes and they're, working through it, but.
One concern I have is that the county and the HDC, we have a long enough term agreement that we have a longer life. So how long would that contract be?
I don't know. Did you propose something in your agreement?
There's a lot of money to spend and then, we're gonna sell it. And sorry about that. So that's the thing that do we as the county want to make that kind of commitment and how long?
Those are questions, yeah. Yeah.
Figure that out for sure.
How many people attend the market?
Yeah. Numbers on this report. Chris had a number, it's in the thousands. But she also had a revenue generating number. It generates quite a bit of money each season too. But let me, without saying a number on record, get that data for you. We did have it.
It's only open on weekends?
It's only open on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Yeah, from 9 to 1 right now.
It is definitely utilized.
No, there's a lot of things to consider.
Very popular space.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we feel that it's really important for the downtown businesses. They get a lot of business on those days. And we want to continue to support them and the local farmers as well. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Jess, once she's here, we will share this with engineers and attorneys and we'll continue a conversation with you.
Okay, that sounds great. And there are some funding opportunities coming up in April through June. So, sooner we can come back around, that'll be great.
Okay.
Thanks for considering it. I know it's, we haven't worked together like this and I'm really interested in how it could work and we could make some improvements.
Okay. Thanks for thinking of us. All right, up next we have highway.
Thanks again.
Take care.
Thank
I'll be in touch. Everybody.
Bye, Nick.
And short and sweet tonight.
Well, thank you. You want to go back out in the sunshine? Huh? You don't want to plow tonight?
Not really. As I'm sure you're aware, most of what we've been doing has been snow and ice, so this week we're catching a little bit of a break. So we're catching up on some of our shoulders, potholes, cutting trees and brush. We are starting to look at performing some of our culvert surveys for our upcoming reconstruction and paving projects for this summer. And then some roadside, sign maintenance and equipment maintenance. Personnel, one employee out on extended medical leave. Unfortunately, it's a mechanic, and as you know, we're already short in that department as it is, so that's not very helpful. New business, all three of the mowers have been delivered. Was kind of nice. Got the resolution, did the purchase order, and a couple days later, the tractor trailer pulled in the yard, and there they were. So
Unlike tandem.
I wish everything could be like that. And I have no resolution request this month. Wait till next month.
They'll catch up. Questions for Tony while he's here, though? If there's no questions from Tony, we'll move on to solid waste.
Thank you.
There you go.
I'm nervous.
You know,
That
I'm
was too fast.
second, no, I'm second
Oh,
today.
second.
I'm usually sitting back there for a while. So what do I got? The department has received approval for the funding under the 2025 Household Hazardous Waste Assistance Program, which is the 2024 event. So that award tentatively is $34,050. I went to the NISAR Legislative Outreach Engagement Day in Albany last month. It was really informative. I learned actually an awful lot. A lot about recycling, the market, what's happening. We did talk about increased recycling funding for municipalities, which would help us. There's some of the things that we did talk about. I reached out. We have a mattress recycler that is moving up from their second business is going to be up in Albany, Rensselaer area, I believe. So we're having talks to see if maybe there's something that we can do with mattresses moving forward. And then if anyone wants to discuss anything, I'm more than
Brenda says she's
for an
got
open
questions.
door. Yeah. But
I told her you went, yeah.
the bottle bill, I mean, we learned a lot. There was some very interesting things that we talked about. So if anyone wants anything else more in depth, you can always reach out. I'm in the office. Our department is also currently working on the Municipal Waste Reduction and Recycling Program grant. This particular grant is going to cover the recycling top load building, and anything recycling upgrades that was part of that grant program. We're kind of in the early stages of collecting all of that information. I'm hoping that we'll have that submitted by May, the end of May. Fingers crossed, we'll see. But that's a nice substantial grant. It'll be over 500,000 coming back to us. What do I got? I have one part-time laborer still out on extended leave. Just gonna keep that reminder going that my guys are still kind of on vacation, my part-timers. So March is still gonna be a little short-staffed. I do have one of my part-time laborers that's been out on extended leave is supposed to be coming back in April. So we'll kind of start looking a little bit better as far as staff is concerned. Although one did just resign yesterday. So, there is that. And then I have solid waste work group met at the end of February. And they recommended extending the closures of the Gallatin and New Lebanon sites. We're supposed to be opening those April 11th, 10th. I don't have my calendar. We're recommending it stay closed until June 1st, just because we're gathering some information to present to this committee and the Board of Supervisors. So I'm just requesting that the Public Works Committee supports this recommendation and perhaps make a motion to approve the closure extensions just through June 1st, so that I can change signage.
Make a motion. Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Okay. And then something else just came up, because I was looking at our schedule for the rest of the year, and I realized that our holiday schedule has July 4th on a Saturday this year, which it affects my department specifically because we're open Friday and Saturday. The county observes the holiday on Friday. All of my stations will have to be closed on July 4th because that is the holiday.
In the past, this happened in 2021. We had, Christmas Eve on Friday, the holiday on Saturday, and we were closed both of those days. And I'm recommending that we be closed the Friday that the county observes the holiday, and that Saturday, the station would be closed as well. This would help because then I don't have to hire or have people coming, working the station on Friday with overtime. It's a holiday overtime. I'm gonna have 4 guys, a laborer, and a couple of part-time laborers. So I'm just looking for a
Makes sense, yeah.
recommendation and approval to allow us to be closed those 2 days.
Sounds like a good idea.
No brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna wanna come in.
Well,
You
and
know that.
it gives me
It gives them a
plenty of
long
time
weekend.
to get, that
Just a
out there.
notification.
So,
They're gonna be 3-day weekend, otherwise they're gonna be.
just I'm just hoping that y'all would just approve that so I can say, okay, this is what we're doing.
Not a problem with
Just
that.
wanted us to know, so that's good. Yep. What you
Okay,
gotta do.
and then the monthly reports, you can see February numbers are down because we were slow. There was a lot of snow.
Construction
A lot of
has been,
ice.
construction's slow too, all over everybody.
You can see we did not take in any brush at all, but everything is significantly down. And then I do have one resolution request. This was budgeted. I did have Jim look at, this before I sent it, and it's requesting permission to purchase one, wheel loader, for the Greenport transfer station. So our loader that we have now is logging over 7,000 miles.
Hours.
Hours, which we all know is moderate to high usage for these types of vehicles. And that's where major issues can happen. Engine, transmission, hydraulic systems can start to fail during this time. It's been maintained very well. My operator does a great job maintaining it, but this is the time.
Aging out.
Right. And so I'm just looking for, a resolution request.
Yeah, so we do have a resolution request before us to purchase a loader at $295 within the capital fund.
It's budgeted, I'll
And
second.
it is budgeted.
Motion and second, yep.
Would there be a trade-in value or would we surplus this at the time?
The old one.
Ideally, we would like to keep the second loader for the recycling. I think, I had hoped to keep the excavator that the used excavator that we have. But it's been sitting and hasn't been repaired, so I believe that we're going to be putting that up instead and would like to keep. Well, it's good to have a backup.
Yep.
We used to have a backup. The backup broke,
Even when the new
18 months
equipment's there,
ago.
right? New ones
So-
can break too, right?
Yeah, if we don't have a loader, then we can't, we really have a hard time operating, yeah.
Just enough for the financial stack. That's right.
When the question,
Yeah.
you ever look at lease with the option to buy? With this equipment?
No,
You just might wanna look, because years ago we did that and it just worked out to our benefit. It was actually a better savings.
we're not using the equipment as it's supposed to be intended.
Okay.
So we're not, using construction equipment for construction. We're using it for
So that-
garbage.
Yeah,
So it's not advisable to do
okay.
that.
I just,
But I did ask,
okay.
we deal with Tracy Road now, and I had asked about that. And, we have to make some changes to the equipment to have it in our yard anyways.
Yeah.
So it's not really advisable.
Okay, just asking.
All right, I think we had a motion and a second, is that right? You have a motion and a second?
I
Is this, was this,
Oh.
do you want to bid for this loader or is this on state?
It's on state contract.
Kathy made the motion, and I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
When you close those sites, what happens? Where do they go?
You mean for the Gallatin?
Yeah, Gallatin
So
and-
Gallatin,
Lebanon?
and New Lebanon. So New Lebanon wasn't a site, it just collected recycling. And we're assuming, because I don't know about New Lebanon, that they are coming to Chatham. I can say that my Chatham recycling numbers are up. So it seems to be that they're bringing their garbage to us and now also the recycling. The residents that our office spoke with from the Gallatin area And so that's not all of them, but the ones that called our department are utilizing the Copic station. With the option that they also have the Livingston one, but the Copic one seems to be the closest for them. Maybe not the most convenient, but it's, you know, it's available to them and it's the same services, at Gallatin, but at Copic, and they're open 2 full days. And Gallatin was only open on Saturday.
Did you already feel questions about the product responsibility?
I didn't, I just kind of left it as if you had questions, you could talk about it now, or you could give me a call.
Well, I don't want, my tardiness shouldn't go off the time.
No,
I'd be interested to see, I mean, this is all shifting the burden back on the manufacturer, right? And
It's fine.
how much of it is going towards, well, mattresses is good, but how much is going towards actual packaging and sub-packaging?
Well, so these are all different bills.
Yeah.
And so the extended producer responsibility for the packaging and paper really goes hand in hand with the bottle bill, which I know sounds odd, but it does. Because it's the recycling thing. So if they're going to change the bottle bill, to get redemption centers, basically it's to, fuel more redemption centers to open, because then you're getting a cleaner product, because the PET is what those bottles are. And if we're not commingling them, then you can bail them up and get more money for them. We're commingling them right now, and that's why our recycling commission, if you will, is non-existent. PET in its pure form is much better than PET commingled with everything else. So the bottle bill is saying, you know, let's increase, perhaps get redemption centers from closing to reopen. And then the packaging one, however, is they have taken the paper products out of that and just made it packaging.
So we expanded polystyrene.
Well, no, even like paper packaging. So it's just paper packaging. So when you have, commercial quantities or commercial businesses have packing boxes, they're free from debris. It's just plain cardboard boxes.
Okay.
But then residential, people have packaging boxes, but it's not considered the same packaging and paper products because it has labels and shipping labels and tape and everything. And so they're trying to figure out, it's hard to decipher what is packaging and what is residential consumer paper. And so they're having a hard time differentiating between the two of them, because you would get rebate back for the packaging, but they have to be then separated. And so we're not in the field of source separating paper products. So,
well, hopefully they'll address styrofoam in the future, and because that, I imagine, is what, you know, that involved in the packaging of all.
So that's not a part of this at all at the moment. Well, styrofoam and those types of things are not supposed to be even on the market now. And so there was a styrofoam bill that just came out in January about the coolers. And so those things are not supposed to be produced and or.
I'm fairly certain I've gotten packages in the mail recently.
I have to, I mean, I know, but you'll know, like, if you get, this is personal, but my son gets medication shipped to him, and it used to be in a styrofoam cooler, and now it's in a box with like some sort of recyclable material in it. But the styrofoam, you're not supposed to have styrofoam. You're not supposed to be producing styrofoam. You're not supposed to be receiving styrofoam. The thing is, though, that anything outside of New York State, because it's not a federal thing, can be different. And so that was not at all mentioned. It is literally paper packaging that we can recycle and reuse.
Thank you.
Just one point, at the NISAC conference on Monday, the Climate Smart Committee neglected to support legislation for the enhanced packaging bill until it could be amended to include paper.
Yeah.
So
and that was like the big thing we were talking about.
Because 25% of the volume is paper, and until that can be included, it doesn't make sense.
At all.
So,
Yeah.
What we did talk about doing is going back to a negotiating table with the various stakeholders and find a way to include paper for next year. There's going to be a big push for this immediately after the budget, but it's not expected to move.
And NICEAG chose not to defend it, so
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
that was one thing I wanted to tell you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I brought it up.
Good. All right, very interesting. Anything else for Wendy? Okay, if not, we'll go to Brian with facilities.
Yeah, that's why he's last tonight.
Try to keep it flowing really good. Most of the routine monthly checks have been done, generated tests and sewer lines. Right now, we just completed prepping for the healthcare consortium, transportation department coming back to 325. So that's pretty much set. So whenever we vacate 610, we're all set for them. We'll probably start moving them pretty soon. So currently 560, we've been working down in the basement, their break room, painting, gonna put new floor in, new bathroom stalls, countertops, just redoing the whole area. There's probably since the 50s since it's been done, so it's about time.
Tony says he got older bathrooms over
Yeah. So, down at some of the highway outposts, a lot of problems with the cold weather with the fuel. We had to place nozzles, filters, a lot, freezing up. Down at Copay, we repurposed generators that came from 911, so now they got an automatic transfer switch. So they'll be good. We'll be moving on to probably Lebanon at some point this year. But right now we're down at 11 Warren, running a lot of wire right now for the doors and cameras and the Wi-Fi. So and eventually the fire alarm. So that's what we've been doing basically this whole month. So other than that, the regular breakdowns and everything. So
hopefully winter's almost over.
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah, we have no resolution, so we're
Any questions for Brian when he's here?
Have you broken it to your crew gently?
Everyone's very happy. Plus the employees out there. Too.
Ryan, when did you ever get their grinder put in that we're supposed to do?
Not that I know.
So we're still back to square one on that one.
Yeah.
And can we make them do that? I mean, if they,
we actually had drawn up a local law that the county adopted, so we can go after them. I can tell you that, we have not had issues with that line. Normal maintenance has been fine. We had meetings with them several times. They've changed part of their operation after we had met with them a couple of years ago. That seemed to really help where we are. Not saying it may not swing the other pendulum,
Correct.
may not
Right
swing
now,
the other way,
it's working.
but yeah, it's been working without any issue.
Okay. The second.
Yeah, it hasn't been bad. My guys haven't really complained too much about a lot of stuff being in there, so maybe they are,
Watching a little bit.
yeah, making sure stuff's not, or
They're
certain
not
people
supposed
are
to be
not
there,
putting
right.
stuff down where it's not supposed to, so, yeah.
And the other thing that the facilities had implemented was actually installing a degreaser onto that, which also helped tremendously as far as that first one.
Yeah.
We haven't heard the complaints in a while. So.
Yeah. No.
All right, anything else for Brian? Before we move on to Ray, I do have a use of gazebo here, in front of us here from MHA of Columbia Green. They would like to use it on April 24th, 2026. Just need a motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Kelly, for bringing that for us. Then we have Mr. Jakowski with engineering. Good evening, everyone.
So starting off with Stuyvesant Falls Bridge, did provide a copy of the load rating report that we had received from Ryan Biggs, the consultant on the project. I'd had conversations with them. They indicated that there were several areas of concern, and they indicated that improvements had to be made prior to it being even considered to be reopened. Based on that discussion, I requested they provide potential options for the county to consider. They've provided 3 options with 3 different load levels. As far as, again, the load rating, as far as vehicles being able to go over the bridge. The first load level would be replacing a single unit, which is a floor beam, but that would limit the posting of the bridge down to 6 tons. One of the issues that I'm been dealing with there is based on the extent of the steel and the condition that the steel is in. Keep in mind, we have Rossman Road that is going to be closed in all likelihood in 2027 as that bridge is being rebuilt. And so there's going to be a very long detour. So I do want to see about opening this bridge up. I also want to try to see that we can keep the bridge open and continue to keep the bridge open until the full Stuyvesant Falls Bridge project is implemented. And based on DOT and the timing of items, that's not going to happen at the very earliest until 2029, if not 2030. Okay. And what I'm trying to do is to avoid an issue where we may open it at a lower rate, or maybe it's just car vehicles, if we went with option number 1, but there are still other elements of that bridge that continue to deteriorate at a very rapid amount. And so that way, the issue is, even though we pass inspection, we make an improvement, we pass the inspection, because of the load rating, and as soon as that load rating is provided on a bridge, DOT then inspects that bridge annually. Normally it's every 2 years, but as soon as there's a load reduction on it, the bridge is inspected every year. And so if we only move forward with option number 1, based on the condition of some of the other elements, that's not to say that it may not be reclosed the following year. And I'm trying to avoid that because I want to keep that bridge open in some capacity from the time that we're able to make the improvements to the time the bridge project comes to fruition. Okay.
And that's how many years looking down the road?
Well, again, earliest would be 2029 to 2030.
So those August, those till not like 4 or 5 years.
So again, yeah, at its very earliest, okay, at its very earliest. So yeah, we're looking at an extended time frame here. Okay. So that was option number 1.
What was the cost to option?
So I'm sorry, option number 1, that's $70,000 for that option number 1. Option number 2 is to complete that floor beam replacement at the approach, but then also perform a repair on the joint number L10 on the right truss. That would allow us to bring that load rating up to 9 tons, and that cost would be $170,000. The third option is to complete the other 2 items, add an additional joint that needs to be fixed on L11, which is on the left side of the truss. It actually mirrors L10. And then we can bring it back up to the 12 ton, which is what it was before we actually closed the bridge. That cost is at $320,000. I am recommending that we go forward with option number 3 and that we do those improvements because that gives us the most probability of extending and keeping it open without further closure. I'm not saying that it's guaranteed in any way, okay, but that provides us the best opportunity moving
Even if you
forward.
did a second weight reduction, we still have it open, so.
That is correct, yeah, so it gives us that option. The other item that the engineer recommended, and it's included in these costs, because of the, even while they were out there doing some of their inspections, they noticed that there's a lot of truck traffic that comes to and from, that area, even though the bridge was closed when they did their inspection. So no, actually, well, my apologies. What we are going to do, and it's included in the numbers, is to put a portal frame on each side of the bridge, not attached to the bridge. So it'll be separate from the structure, but it'll be on each end, and that will limit the height of the structure. So semi trucks can't go over it. Large agricultural vehicles won't be able to go. Those heavy overloaded vehicles.
that is being done to also help extend the life of this
Keep the heavy weight
repair
off of it.
by keeping that heavy weight, so that way we can, again, keep this open until the time that we actually, do the full, replacement, which is the preferred option, okay? And again, when we do that portal framing, we will have to put lights on it, we will have to do prior notification on this, as far as street signs and different things like that.
So option 3 puts us back to the original weight limit, so that's an every 2-year inspection.
No,
That's not the weight, that's.
No, the
that's
original-
Back to the 12 ton.
Well,
Well, so the 12 ton is still considered a reduction. If
Oh,
there's
that's what we have
no,
now.
yes, if there's no reduction, if there's no load rating, then it's every 2 years. As soon as we bring it down, because we have bridges that are reduced down to 22, 24 ton, 22 ton, 20 ton, even those are down to every single year. So as soon as it has any type of load rating, so anytime you go over a bridge and you don't see a load rating, means any vehicle can go over it. Right. And that's every 2 years. As soon as you see a bridge that has a load rating on it, then that's every year. So this would still be every year, but we're repairing the more critical items that have been identified as needing repair. And again, with that, in addition to providing the portal framing to reduce the number of heavy vehicles heading over it, we hope that will have the longevity and continue to buy us time until the full project is done.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, we have to do that.
Yeah.
Well, even an F-550 right now is 19.5 GVW, right, which is Eclipse option 2.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah, and that's, again, keeping in mind, even though we recognize fire vehicles themselves, as far as the large fire trucks and things of that, but it would help the first responders in their private vehicles getting from point A to point B.
In the brush truck
In the
or
brush
something small.
Yeah, even a small,
Right.
their first response vehicles as well. Correct.
and I have spoke to the fire chief and our emergency coordinator in town, as well as many of our residents are here. There is a large interest in just having it open. You've heard me advocate for this for 15 years, but certainly the first responders, the Stuyvesant Falls Fire Department is right on the other side of the bridge, but they tell me at least 80% of their members live on the other side of the bridge. So, getting to the fire truck, even though they got to go to Kinderhook to go somewhere with it, is a challenge right now, with it closed altogether. So I certainly advocate for trying to get it back open to whatever. I was like, hopefully we can go to 18 tons and get a fire truck across it, but that's not an option right now. So here's where we're at, so.
So, Ray, so if we go for the max right now, will that last the 5 years we got until we get the other
I
bridge up?
cannot guarantee anything.
They can't guarantee.
I can-
Well, I'm
And this
saying,
report kind of gets critical of that. They
well, I'm
may
saying,
not.
is there other things that are wrong on there that might not let it last that we don't know about, or they know that they should fix it for that time?
Yeah, so when I asked them for these three options,
Yeah.
I gave them the scope that, we recognize that we're not going to be able to replace this structure in some fashion as far as the overall project until 2029, 2030.
Right.
And so that was my timeframe. That fact that I want to make sure whatever repair and the recommendations that are being made, make sure that we try to extend that, so at least we're open to that. I
So
can't
that-
tell you, again,
Can't guarantee it. but I
every
understand.
season's a new season as far as the rate of deterioration. And again, they actually identify that the bridge continues to deteriorate at a very rapid rate.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have
so
to
our
say
goal
that
is,
corrosion is project itself. So that's,
so again, I can't,
I'm not gonna guarantee it. They're almost saying yes, theoretically.
this is the best, right,
The
so,
best option.
exactly, so this is the best alternate path forward. And that's the way that they.
Even if it leads to a reduced.
right. Yeah.
Exactly, that gives us a little more latitude.
If we
So
opened
we
it
had
at
to
6
go-
tons, it'd be shut down again next year.
Exactly. So what I'm requesting, at least from the committee, is not a resolution, but at least a motion. So at least that way I can get back together with Big Brian, and that way I can get a proposal from them, and that way I'll bring that, if all goes well, I bring that to the full board meeting in April.
I'll move.
I'll take a motion to go without the three, right?
Where's this money coming from?
We, out of the county, so the county,
We're not fixing the bridge in the county this year.
No, so the county does have a fund, that we utilize for bridge maintenance and also some road projects. There's roughly 1.3, so all of our routine, maintenance, and some of our smaller repairs, not full bridge replacements, but our annual repairs is coming out of that budget. This will be coming out of that budget. That's also where the repairs were, or not only the repairs, but the
the load study was paid out of that same account.
So Ray, if we approve this in April, what's the time frame where this would be fixed so they could utilize it? By the
So,
end of the year?
oh yes, yeah, they're hoping that if all goes well, we would actually try to get this repaired, so it could get open during the summer months.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, so we're trying to move along with them because we have discussed, and I need to talk with the county attorney. Do we try to fast track this as an emergency repair and identify it as an emergency? And if we do that, then we may not need to go through a full procurement process as far as formal bidding and so forth, but I still have to have that discussion with the county attorney, okay? In light of the fact that it's been closed, that's a little tougher of a sell to say, all of a sudden, that's an emergency to get it in.
Okay.
What will you
But we
say?
are moving, we are trying to move. I'm reaching out to, some of the emergency services as far as local fire companies, as far as some of their bridges, or I'm sorry, some of their vehicles. I actually spoke with Stuyvesant, regarding, some of their smaller first response vehicles. I was also gonna speak with the ambulance squad as well, to see what they are. Somewhere, right now, it's appearing somewhere in the, 10'6" area, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And you have a motion.
Yeah, have a motion and a second, all in favor on Ray's proposal.
Thank you. Also, just want to note, unfortunately, I just so everyone is aware, myself and I know Supervisor Knott have received about a dozen emails, correspondences from local residents as well. I'm not sure if anybody else had seen those, but those all came in after Friday, so they weren't included in the original packet, but since you.
I will for, maybe local bridge committee, I will supply them a copy of this report and,
Yeah, so actually I was going to.
acknowledgement today, but if you want to write something up.
Yeah, so I was gonna actually provide a copy so that way it can get posted to your
Okay,
site,
yeah.
then also provide copies of those correspondences. So at
Okay.
least that way, I know
It's on
you've
the
been
record,
keeping
yeah,
a
we've been
record.
keeping them on our website.
Yep.
Justine, do you have a question that hasn't been answered yet?
Thank you for sharing this information. John, you mentioned that it's not possible to restore the bridge to 18 tons for fire trucks. Just curious why that's the case.
Engineering.
Well, again, costs continue to climb. So at some point, we need to decide as a county on a temporary repair where we're looking to make a major investment into the structure. There needs to be a cutoff of how much we're willing to continue to invest into the structure. Because again, keep in mind, this is coming out of the pocket of the county, as far as our budget. So all the residents of Columbia County are paying for the structure or paying for this repair. And if the project moves forward, depending upon, we still are working with New York State Department of Transportation as well as Federal Highway Administration as we go through historic reviews and everything else, that the preferred option is to replace the structure in its entirety. So we're making this investment of $320,000 for repair that perhaps by 2030 is not longer going to be needed, and the bridge is going to be taken out of service and it's going to be replaced with a new bridge.
Bill, you had a question too?
Yeah. Was the consulting company asked what it would cost to take it to 18, or was that not even an option? My point being, it's gonna be 300,000 for 12 ton. What is the increment to get it to 18 ton? And I think that's something, and I understand the cost and repairs and all that.
Right.
But you don't know what that cost is.
I
think
So-
if there was a reasonable cost, they would have given it to us, but right? you
No,
can
they
answer
weren't.
that.
No, they were
Yeah,
asking.
exactly. So, they were targeting somewhere in the area of about $500,000 towards that. Again, even if that was achievable. So at that point, I just said, let's go with the three options and not bring it up to 18.
Okay.
Excuse me, Ron.
Yep.
Mr. Jakowski had said he asked for 3 options.
Yeah.
He got 3 options.
Yep.
He didn't ask for the 18 ton option.
Okay.
So, and I understand the difference in the cost. I get it.
Yep.
But they were not asked for that. They were asked for 3. They provided 3.
Right.
They provided 4, and that one was so far out there. I
And
understand.
we can vote on it, yeah.
But I think they should have been and potentially should be asked for. Because 2930 is a best, what I'm hearing as a person sitting here
Yep.
is.
Well, we may
that's
do
the
this
best.
all over again in 2 years. I don't know that. I don't want to, but
That's the best guess.
right. That is the best guess. Yep. Lee.
I would just say that this sounds like a big ticket
But we need to keep in mind that it's because of years, like 30 years of deferred maintenance where you didn't spend any money. And we're paying the price for that now. Wasn't painted for 30 years. So, you know.
Well, here's where we're at. We're trying to move forward. We're trying to get it back open again. Yes.
I agree. It's always nice to have the over and under land in the middle, so you can make that important decision. So I do agree with those comments. I was wondering if someone wouldn't mind reading back the proposed resolution that was just passed by the group. I didn't quite understand.
We were gonna go with option 3. That's
So
what we've asked.
you're voting to recommend that
Option
the
3.
goal-
Yep.
And that's to just spend that money and.
Option 3 is well explained in the document, so we'll get that to you. in
So,
the
so
future.
that's what will go to the.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
wanted to be clear. Thank you.
So I'm assuming you're not going back and asking for the 18-ton.
Right, not at this point. I didn't read that. Yes.
Let me ask a question about the Rossman Bridge. How long will that take to replace, and what are you budgeting that for?
There was actually just a presentation done this a few weeks ago at the town of Stockport. So we are looking to replace that in 2027, if all goes well. Right now, we anticipate making initial submissions as far as design reports to New York State DOT in the April-May timeframe. Full design during the summer and fall months for final approval during the winter of 2026, going into 2027, letting it out to bid in the very early portion of 2027. We're targeting the February, March timeframe for that, with the anticipation that construction could start in spring of 2027 and be completed by the end of the construction season in 2027.
And will it stay open until you start work?
For Rossman?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. And the budget for that was, my apologies, I didn't have it. I don't have the exact number, but it's, I think it was 4.2, 4.5 million. I remember correctly, somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't have the number exactly. Actually, if you go on to the town of Stockport website, the presentation that was presented during the public informational meeting at the town board is located on their website. So you actually can have, or you can actually see all of the PowerPoint slides that have the schedule as well as the budget for that project as well.
Very good. One more.
Sorry for double dipping, but just so I'm understanding, I'm curious if the Rossman Bridge can currently support 18 tons in emergency responders to roll over. And if then the detour has been evaluated for when Rossman's under construction and Stuyvesant Falls is only 12 tons. Has the emergency response been studied for that scenario?
So again, if you go up onto the website, town of Stockport website regarding the Rossman Bridge, we had anticipated worst case scenario for that detour. Again, it's subject to change because we're in the midst of the design, but it was presented as the worst case scenario that shows traffic going along 9 and not utilizing Stuyvesant.
Okay, so that reflects the worst case, but currently can emergency vehicles cross Rossman?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll be losing that and with.
Right. Yeah. That's why we need some kind of transportation across our area. All right. I think you can move on, right?
Very good. County Route 7 over Punza Creek. This was a project that was completed late last year up in the town of Austerlitz, and we actually just conducted the final walkthrough and final inspection with New York State DOT without any issues. So we're just preparing final paperwork for final reimbursement of that funding through the Bridge New York grant program. Rossman Road Bridge, as I mentioned, there was a public information held March 10th. There were questions regarding the detour impact on bicyclists, but no significant other comments were received. It more had to do actually with the bike route as far as the Empire Trail and so forth. But
The
again,
state is doing a cultural review to that now.
they are, yes, we're in the midst of a cultural review because of the impact to the Empire State Trail. Buckwheat Road Bridge. So I attended the Town of Claremont Town Board meeting. So this was not an official public informational meeting. This was just to provide an update to the town board. I know Supervisor Stats had been getting quite a few questions, and so I offered to go to the town board to at least provide them an update of where we stood in as far as the project. We are in the very beginning of the design process. We've been doing all of the evaluations as far as environmental reviews, also dealing with bats and those studies because of the roosting that potentially may take place. We did provide, I did provide update as far as the anticipated construction, which again is going to be a full, complete replacement of the bridge superstructure, as well as the existing abutments, because there's a restriction in the stream. And because of that existing restriction, there have been flooding issues that have been taking place. There's quite a bit of erosion that's taking place on other creek bed as well. So roughly speaking, it's going from about a 70-foot span out to as far as 100 to 110-foot span. Members of the board, of the town board, as well as the public, provided comment. They were expressed concerns about increased traffic speed because we're not straightening the bridge out entirely. We are softening the turn or the curve. There's a bit of an S curve approaches on both sides. We are softening that. So there was a concern regarding the traffic speed. A request whether the county would consider changing it down to a single lane bridge, and also an overall question or concern regarding pedestrian safety. So based on some of those comments, working with the design consultant this time, we are looking at adding a sidewalk on the downstream side. That particular bridge, and there's a bank along the stream that provides a great fishing opportunity. As a matter of fact, it is posted by the DEC as a fishing spot. So we thought by placing a sidewalk along the south side, that would enhance that ability as well, and also provide some additional safety.
They're going to be a 2-lane road.
It's still going to be 2-lane. Yeah, yeah, it is a 2-lane road now. Pavement width is 22 feet, curb to curb, so we would be replacing with a 2-lane road. We also identified the ability of adding additional advisory signs for that bridge, as well as pedestrians use. There's farming operation in close proximity, so we can add some signage. And we also offered that we can include the radar driver feedback signs. So those are the solar signs that provide a radar of the actual speed that you're traveling. And we can provide those within our anticipated construction area in close proximity to the bridge. So they do work. They do inhibit people's, speed. So we think that would be a good addition to the project. So we did speak with both the town of Claremont supervisor as well as the town of Livingston. We are required to do a formal public informational meeting. It has been decided to hold that public informational meeting at the town of Claremont town hall in the May timeframe. And again, similar to what we did with Rossman, there'll be a full slide presentation regarding the overall budget, updated layout, and then we'll take comments from the public as well. Once that's done, then we'll go to the town of Livingston, and I'll provide them with an update. But the formal meeting will actually take place in Claremont.
Great. I'd just like to thank you for taking the input and working it into the proposals and with the next presentation.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. I appreciated the input. By all means, want to work with the communities where we can and try to better the project. I know we can't always make everyone happy, but it's not from the fact that we're actually not listening. We do tend to try to see what we can do to modify a project where appropriate. So I appreciate that. Mill Hill Road. So the contractor mobilized this past Monday. That project is anticipated to be completed this spring. There'll be a slight delay. We were hoping to get it paved in the middle of April. Colorusso currently is working on improvements or modifications to their batch plant at their facility in Greenport. So that's going to delay that to the first week of May. But at that point, it will be completed as the project as a whole. County Route 7A, so we're working with the design consultant regarding the finalization of the Section 4F material. and the historic impact for the proposed mitigation. And that's moving that clock tower 60 feet. So keep in mind that process is now taking
That's been going on a long
3 years.
time.
Oh,
3 years.
Matter of fact, Dean was on that for years before he passed, so, you're new to this, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Exactly. 11 Warren, so general contractors, starting the installation of the floor finishes in the Board of Elections room, or Board of Elections area at this point. Facilities have been doing a great job. We've been working with them, regarding various cabling for door systems. We've been working with the Board of Elections regarding their fob systems because they, require special, dual authentication into multiple rooms. Yeah, and so I actually have a resolution to add additional fobs because of that. But the project continues to move forward. As a matter of fact, I do have a meeting with folks from the building at 610 regarding the anticipated move. And that includes the county clerk's office as well as the historian and emergency services, because they all have records down in the basement that will need to be moved. So I have a meeting next week to start that process. I didn't want to do that until the full board acted on the resolution
Right,
as
deem
far
it
as
surplus,
deeming
yeah.
it surplus. Also met with the city of Hudson regarding street parking along Warren and First. So I think that meeting went very well. So we're just working on trying to draft an agreement for both parties to review, and then present to their boards.
Great.
Airport 3 projects that are currently out to bid. The AWAS, which is the automatic weather operating system, that's out to bid, and the bid will be open April 19th. The terminal building renovation project will be open on the same day, and the parking reconstruction will be opened on March 19th. So again, just keep in mind, each one of these is both federally funded. The terminal building also substantial state funding for that included as well. Generally speaking, between all 3 projects, the county is paying approximately 5% over all projects, and state and federal FAA are picking up 95% of the cost of those projects.
And again, terminal renovations has been on our docket for 15 years or so, so, you know, glad to get that done.
How much does that airport, you get any money from it?
So, yeah, actually there was
Make
an,
anything?
so there was an article, yes, we do get revenue from, fuel sales as well as rental, lease agreements from Richmore. The Columbia County as a whole, I don't want to misquote the article. There was an article in the Columbia paper that looked at the county airport budget, and, I want to indicate, and please don't quote me on the exact number. Back in 2022, New York State identified that the revenue coming into the county was about 15.5 million in the year 2022, as an example. That was the last time that study was updated.
Very quick question.
But that article also, my apologies, the article also identified that since 2022, the activity at the airport has increased. So that means more fuel sales and different things like that. So the impact would be anticipated to be greater in the more current years.
Is the water tower going to be finished this year?
We need to, well, I don't know if it'll be completely finished. We definitely are going to start it. And we're going to start construction on that, whether it be 100% complete.
Or close?
It'll be very close. Yeah, I was going to say, it'll be very close to completion. And a lot of that has to do with the lead time on the tank itself, because there's approximately a 6-month lead time.
Okay.
All right, so we are hoping to go out to bid this spring. But again, with that 6-month lead time, it's not going to take long to put it up.
Right.
But it may just stretch into the early part of
Just got to get it there.
Yes.
That's it. Okay.
And to that end, we're currently working on the actual grant application for the additional $500,000 towards that project through New York State County Infrastructure Grant Program. Also met with Soil and Water District to discuss the potential of constructing a storage barn, basically a pole barn. They were looking to originally place it on their current site. There are many restrictions, physical restrictions regarding that. Number one, the orientation of the lot. It's kind of a pie shape, if you would.
The area that they were looking to place it, there's some existing underground drainage that would be impacted. There's wetlands in the area. So there's a gas line that serves the Commerce Park, so it's not conducive to place it on that.
That's a minor
parcel.
risk.
A minor risk. Yeah, especially when you're drilling in piles into it. We are looking at an alternate location. There is a 1 acre site located just adjacent to the composting operation, Homestead operation. That currently has a house on it. It's been unoccupied. It's not being used. I spoke with Tucker about it, Mike Tucker. He indicated that there hasn't been any feelers as far as anybody contacting them regarding the potential purchase. So we are looking to actually locate that storage building at that site. So we're doing our due diligence at this point as far as looking at potential wetland impacts, zoning, and so forth as well.
Our sheriff's department utilized that for training.
Oh, okay.
The old building.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Okay.
I think possibly fire too.
In the past, that they have. My understanding is they
They
stopped.
don't need it with the new fire training center.
Right, yeah, absolutely, in the past, that is correct, but ever since, my understanding was ever since the fire training center was built, that all of that type of training is now taking place there, and they are no longer utilizing it.
K9 units were using it.
Okay, all right, I'll check with them. Other than that, I have 2 reports. So first request is, for public, excuse me, a resolution to enter into a professional service agreement with GPI, and this is for the actual design of the slope stabilization for County Route 9 in the amount of $95,000.
Got a motion second, all in favor?
Second resolution is for, oh, I'm missing that sheet. Do you have that? Oh, there it is. Resolution for entering into contract with Fire and Security Sound Systems of Latham for additional fob system equipment in the amount of $11,320. And this is based on the additional fobs that are required for Board of Elections. As we were going through, we took a second look at those, and each unit has a certain limit of fobs that can be placed into that unit. We are just exceeding it by 1, so we're going to upgrade to the next size. So that's the reason for it, along with some additional equipment, but it is in the amount of $11,320.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor on the fob system?
Any other questions?
All right. Did you get any other questions for Ray?
I just have my gratitude for you coming out with soil and water, exploring various options there. It's a program I'd really like to expand. It's very beneficial to local agriculture.
Yeah.
Still
So
gonna bring that to economic development, do you think, at some point?
That's the plan.
Concept, yeah.
First.
Right. Gotta figure some things out, but.
yeah, so we've been looking at that. Right now, it's looking favorable. So, but again, we hope to get that wrapped up this month, and that way I can get back with the folks at Soil and Water, and have a further discussion, and continue to have that discussion with Mike Tucker as well, since technically, they have that property.
Right. Any other questions from the public? Yes.
We're getting 2 points. So the proposal for the county lot at 6th and Columbia from the Hudson Development.
Yeah.
So just in looking at that, and I know it's a concept diagram, but there are trees in the corners. And in those corners, that's where the anchor sellers, you got Moore's Crossing, you got Sam Scott, you got the Mennonites, and just, so I attend the farmer's market religiously every week.
Okay.
And I'm there and I hang with Marilyn, and anyone who knows Marilyn knows she sells the flowers and she's quite the
And I
attraction.
think that was the idea of having the trees there to give those vendors shade, but
I think it's taking up space and just looking at the concept.
yeah, it's a concept. So.
And I was just wondering if they were actually, because I did not hear any mention of the farmers markets or any input from the farmer market people. That's just one.
Yeah.
All right. So I would think you would want to consider the farmer's market viewpoint on this.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, just on this whole bridge thing. So if you look at the differential for the 18-ton, it's what, $200,000? And I know it's a stopgap, just so you could actually do the proper repair in time. But $200,000 when you're looking at being able for a fire engine to respond more quick. And I don't know the time to the differential and how quick and how long it's gonna take for a fire truck to get there. But I mean, if you're able to save one building, you know, or some lives,
Right.
there is that computation.
We'll keep analyzing. Meanwhile, we'll try and get it back open again to the public. That's what everybody's asking for.
Absolutely.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn, all second, all in favor rather. Second.
Aye.